Welcome to our channel. Today, we're going to make sewing clothes a breeze with these amazing tricks. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, these techniques will help you sew like a master. We'll cover everything from basic skills to clever shortcuts. So gather your materials and let's get started on creating beautiful, well-crafted garments you'll be proud to wear. Threading a needle can be a test of patience and precision. But don't worry, here's a trick to make it easy and stress-free. First, gather your essential tools: a needle threader, a hand sewing needle, and your chosen thread. These are the basics you'll need. Start by cutting your thread cleanly with sharp scissors. A clean cut is crucial. A diagonal cut helps the thread pass through the needle's eye more easily, reducing frustration. Take your needle threader and pass its thin wire loop through the eye of your needle. This is the key step. Next, pass the end of your thread through the loop of the needle threader. Make sure it's secure. Hold the thread taut and pull the needle threader back through the eye of the needle. Watch the magic happen. The thread will glide right through. No more squinting or licking the end of your thread. It's that simple. With this simple technique, you'll be ready to start sewing in no time. Efficiency is key. Using the right tools is half the battle in any craft, and sewing is no exception. Proper tools make a difference. A needle threader is a small investment that can make a world of difference. It's worth having in your toolkit. Now that your needle is threaded, let's move on to tying a knot. This step is just as important. Make a loop at the end of the thread and pass the end through the loop twice. This ensures a strong knot. Hold the knot between your thumb and forefinger and gently tighten. Be careful not to pull too hard. This creates a secure knot that won't slip through your fabric. You're now ready to sew with confidence. A beautifully finished hem elevates any garment, giving it a polished look. I'll guide you through the steps to create a perfect hem every time. Gather your tools: a measuring tape, fabric scissors, an iron, and your sewing machine. Try on your garment and decide on the desired length. Use a fabric pen or chalk to mark the hemline directly on the garment. Lay your garment flat and measure the desired hem allowance. A standard hem allowance is about 1.5 inches. Trim away any excess fabric beyond your marked hem allowance. Fold the raw edge of the fabric up to your marked hemline, pressing the fold with an iron. For extra durability, consider using a serging or overlocking technique to finish the raw edge. Set up your sewing machine with a straight stitch and a matching thread colour. Starting at one side seam, stitch along the folded edge of your hem. Backstitch at the beginning and end to secure the thread ends. Once stitched, give your hem a final press with the iron. Congratulations! You've mastered the art of the perfect hem. A stuck or separated zipper doesn't have to mean the end of your favourite garment. With a few simple tools and a little patience, you can easily repair that zipper. Gather what we need: pliers, a zipper slider replacement, and a needle and thread. First, assess the situation. Is the zipper stuck, or has the slider come off the teeth? If the slider is stuck, gently work the zipper pull up and down, applying a small amount of lubricant like soap or beeswax. If the slider has come off completely, examine the zipper teeth closely. Use your pliers to gently straighten any bent or damaged teeth. Take your zipper slider replacement and carefully slide it onto the bottom of the zipper tapes. Test the zipper by zipping it up and down a few times. If you don't have a zipper slider replacement, use a needle and thread to create a temporary pull. Thread your needle with strong thread and tie a knot at the end. Stitch through the zipper tape just above the topmost tooth, creating a loop. Remember, a little zipper maintenance goes a long way. Sewing on a button might seem simple, but there are tricks to getting it perfectly secure. A well-sewn button not only ensures durability, but also adds a touch of finesse to your garment. Gather your materials: a needle, thread, scissors, your button, and the garment. Having everything ready before you start will make the process smoother and more efficient. Choose a thread color that matches your button or fabric. This will help the button blend seamlessly with the garment, giving it a professional look. Thread your needle with a length of thread about 18 inches long and tie a knot at the end. This length is manageable and reduces the risk of tangling. Determine the placement of your button. If replacing, use the existing buttonhole as a guide. This ensures that the button aligns perfectly with the buttonhole. Mark the desired button placement with a fabric pen or chalk. This step is crucial for accuracy, especially if you're adding a new button. Insert your needle from the back of the fabric to the front, bringing it up through one of the buttonholes. This initial stitch anchors the button in place. Place your button on top of the fabric, aligning the buttonholes with the needle. Ensuring the buttonholes are aligned will make sewing easier and neater. Bring your needle down through the opposite buttonhole and back through the fabric. This creates the first secure stitch. Repeat this process until the button feels secure. Typically, 4 to 6 passes are sufficient for most buttons. To create a shank, wrap the thread around the base of the button a few times. This provides space between the button and fabric, making it easier to button and unbutton. Insert the needle through the fabric to the back, make a small stitch, wrap the thread around the needle, and pull through to create a knot. This final knot secures your work. You've successfully sewn on a button that's both functional and stylish. With these steps, your button will stay in place and look great for a long time. Sewing straight and even seams is crucial for creating professional-looking garments. A well-sewn seam can make the difference between a garment that looks homemade and one that looks like it came from a high-end boutique. It might seem daunting, but with the right techniques and practice, you'll be stitching like a pro. Remember, every expert was once a beginner, and with dedication, you can achieve precision. Prepare your fabric by pressing it flat with an iron. This step is essential as it ensures your fabric is smooth and ready for accurate sewing. This removes any wrinkles that might cause your fabric to shift as you sew. A well-pressed fabric lays the foundation for a perfect seam. Pin your fabric pieces together along the seam line, making sure the edges are aligned. Proper pinning is key to keeping your fabric in place as you sew. Use sharp, fine sewing pins to prevent snags or holes. These pins are designed to glide through fabric without causing damage. Set up your sewing machine with a straight stitch and a stitch length appropriate for your fabric. Different fabrics may require different settings, so always test on a scrap piece first. Practice your seam allowance on a scrap of fabric. This helps you get a feel for the machine and ensures your seams will be consistent. Most sewing patterns have a designated seam allowance, usually 5/8 of an inch. It's important to follow this guideline for the best results. Align your pinned fabric with the needle of your sewing machine. Take your time to ensure everything is perfectly positioned. Lower the presser foot to hold the fabric in place, and begin sewing slowly and steadily along the seam line. Consistent speed helps maintain an even seam. Guide the fabric gently with your hands, but avoid pulling or pushing it. Let the machine do the work to prevent stretching or distorting the fabric. Keep an eye on the seam guide on your sewing machine to maintain a consistent seam allowance. This guide is your best friend for straight seams. Backstitch at the end to secure the thread ends and prevent unraveling. This simple step adds durability to your seams. Lift the needle and press a foot. Remove your fabric and press your seam open or to one side with an iron. Pressing the seam helps it lay flat and look professional. Congratulations! You've mastered the art of sewing precise seams. Each seam you sew will build your confidence and skill. With practice, you'll be creating beautifully crafted garments with confidence. Your dedication to mastering precise seams will shine through in every piece you create. Thanks for watching. We hope these tricks make your sewing projects easier and more enjoyable. Remember, sewing takes practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn and grow. Keep experimenting with different techniques and fabrics to discover what works best for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more great tips and tutorials. Happy sewing!